خوش آمدید. Welcome to the video series of Iranian language and culture. In this video, we will introduce you to Tarof, which is the Iranian code of etiquette.
You will also learn some common phrases used when performing Tarof.
Understanding Tarof is essential to understanding Iranian culture. It is an understood system of social rules that Iranians use in their daily lives.
Don't worry if Tarof seems strange to you at first. Over time, you will recognize Tarof and understand its nuances. In this video, we will role-play for you several common scenarios where you might experience Tarof when in Iran.
One way you will experience Tarof is when you are offered food or drink at a friend's house. You should first decline the offer politely. When your host insists a second or a third time, then you should accept. In the following demonstration, we will show you how this exchange might happen.
چای میخوری؟
ممنون، زحمت نمیدم.
زحمتی نیست.
نه زحمت نمیدم.
بفرمایید چای.
دست شما درد نکنه.
In this conversation, you heard several important phrases that are often used in Tarof. These are میخورید, زحمت نمیدهم, بفرمایید, and دست شما درد نکنه. The phrase میخوری literally means do you eat or do you drink. The phrase زحمت نمیدهم means I don't want to cause you problems.
The phrase بفرمایید in Tarof means please take and eat or drink. The phrase دست شما درد نکنه means may your hand not receive any pain, but shows appreciation.
Another situation where Tarof is seen is when you are entering or leaving a building with another person. It is important to insist that the person who is older or more respected goes first. It is also customary for men to let women go first. Still, Tarof insists that you politely argue who will enter the doorway. Sasan and I will demonstrate how the situation might look.
بفرمایید.
نه بفرمایید.
خواهش میکنم بفرمایید.
مرسی اما نه لطفاً بفرمایید.
نه نمیشه، خانوما مقدمن.
مرسی دوستم.
In the demonstration, you saw how Emily and I argued about who would go first. Even though we both know that it is polite for Emily to enter first, she still insists that I go. You also heard بفرمایید. In this demonstration, بفرمایید means please go.
Sasan and I also said two important phrases. When I insisted that Sasan go instead of me, he replied with خواهش میکنم. In this context, خواهش میکنن means please.
After Emily insisted for the second time that I go before her, you heard me say the phrase نمیشه. This phrase means not possible and can be used in a variety of situations. You also heard the phrase خانوما مقدمن, which means ladies first.
When you are a guest at someone's house, you will also be given what is considered the best seat, whether you're at the dinner table or sitting on the floor on a toshak mat, or pillows which are called motaka. This comes from centuries of Iran being a monarchy, with the king as the most important person in the room.
It was considered an honor to sit next to or near the king, and this sitting order is still practiced in Iran homes today. However, now the guest takes the place of the king. Thus, there will be always a seat considered shahnashin or bala, which literally means up.
When you are invited to the home of your friend, family, or colleague, your host will indicate a place for you to sit and say, بفرمایید bala, which means take that special chair or place. If you are the host, it is also expected that you will offer the best seat to your guest. Let's practice this simple phrase 2 times. بفرمایید bala. بفرمایید bala.
Another situation where you will experience Tarof is if you go to eat at a restaurant with your Iranian friends. Expect that everyone in your group will try to pay the bill. It is normal for all parties to argue over the bill for several minutes.
If you were invited by your friends to attend the dinner party, then continue to insist to pay. If after 3 times they insist on paying, let them, but make sure you reciprocate their kindness later. Please watch in the following demonstration. من میپردازم.
نه نمیشه، من میپردازم.
نه قبولی نداره.
نه شما مهمون هستیم، من میپردازم.
نه من میپردازم.
نه من میخوام بپردازم.
باشه مرسی. لطف دارید.
In this demonstration, you heard 2 important phrases. First, when the bill arrived, you heard Emily say, من میپردازم. This means, I will pay. When I took the bill from Emily and told her I would pay, she took it back and said, قابلی نداره. This phrase means, it's not a big deal.
If Tarof seems confusing to you, don't worry. You will become accustomed to the underlying rules of Tarof the more you encounter it. However, there are also some phrases that are useful if you are unsure whether an offer is sincere or simply Tarof.
In these phrases, you will hear the word Tarof. One phrase you may hear is be Tarof, which means what I'm offering you is serious and not a Tarof. Because all Iranians are aware of Tarof, they often say this to indicate that their offer is serious and not simply an act of Tarof. However, be careful. It could still be Tarof.
Another phrase that includes the word Tarof is Tarof nadaram, which translates to I don't have Tarof. This phrase could mean 2 things. First, it can indicate that the speaker has an intimate relationship with the listener and therefore no Tarof is needed. It can also mean that the speakers have no relationship and therefore do not need Tarof.
We hope you enjoyed learning about Iranian Tarof. In our next video, we will introduce you to several Iranian dishes and common phrases for ordering them.
Thank you, and Khuda Hafiz.
Khuda Hafiz.